Welcome to Caution Flag Contemplations Podcast, a racing show by the fans for the fans. All right. Welcome in to the Caution Flag Contemplations Podcast. I'm your host, Ernest T. Bass. No, I'm just kidding. I am Casper, the host. Got with me JP, D-Watt, and we're here for another week of some dirt track discussions. Might talk a lot of asphalt too. I don't know. How's y'all's weekend?
It was a weekend.
Did anybody other than me go to the racetrack?
I did not make it to the racetrack.
Didn't get a chance to.
Slackers. Absolute slackers. And I thought y'all were fans. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made that call so late to go. I don't know if y'all realize how. Like, I that's the first time I've ever showed up after hot laps to a race in my life. I pulled right in the back gate there at the tier parking and paid my little pit pass, signed my board, got my wristband, and just walked right on in. It was nice. I didn't really get a good parking spot, but I ended up sitting on those grandstands on the back stretch. Would recommend that. It's actually like pretty decent. It wasn't that dusty.
Really?
It could have been a lot worse. I sat low for a minute and I was like, whew. Yeah, we don't want to do that. So, but no, it was a good weekend. Did y'all do anything else exciting?
I was in Crossville, my in-laws,
Okay.
so we ate some good brats and made some good food all weekend, and went by the drag strip up in Crossville. They were off; they're racing next weekend, and then the dirt track got rained out Friday night, so did some walking and did some visiting with the family. So
I got you. Y'all ever go to any of those parks up there, like Burgess Falls or Cummins Falls or anything like that? Y'all ever been to any of those?
I like the state park.
Yeah.
Cumberland Mountain State Park's really
Yeah.
good, and there's some good. Obed River's got like a small, like a walking path, a paved walking path park
Okay.
up there. It's pretty nice. So.
Yeah, that Cumberland Falls State Park, that is nice. They got like cabins there, if I remember right, that are pretty nice. Me and the wife used to go there a lot whenever I lived in Cookville, not Crossville. I lived in the other sea town right up the road there. Real close to Monterey, home of the Monterey Missile. Ricky Weiss. Everybody, I don't know if everybody's forgot he's from Tennessee all of a sudden this year. I don't know if y'all noticed that. It's like all of a sudden he's now back from Canada.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't understand why, because they were calling it the Monterey Missile for like a year, and then everybody just forgot that. I don't know. We'll blame whoever that is over there at the HTF. I don't know. But it is what it is. Well, glad y'all had a good weekend. I'm sure y'all got to watch a little racing.
Oh, yeah.
I did watch a lot of that. I watched the qualifying at Indy.
Okay.
I watched some
Did you
flow.
All 6 hours at Indy?
I literally watched. We literally watched probably 4 hours of it, and then watched some of the truck race.
Jesus.
But it was. I guess I learned a lot about the qualifying concept they do with is it 4 laps, and then it's like a timer on top of the screen. Was it
Yeah.
like a 6-hour countdown or a 5-hour or 4? It was quite the countdown. So
Yeah, I think that's a good place for us to go ahead and start. Yeah, we're not really going to cover that, so we'll talk about that kind of over the weekend stuff. Like the Indy qualifying it's wild on its own. Like you find yourself like it's that 6 hours goes a lot quicker than you think. I was doing stuff around the house while I was watching, but yeah, I think they do. I think it's like 6 hours, 7 hours, 6.5, something like that of qualifying, and the track's open, and they're all making 4-lap runs, which I don't think they've done that forever for like all of qualifying. I feel like that's kind of newer. I thought it used to be like single lap runs, and I thought the Fast 6 was when they first started doing the 4-lap qualifying thing, but I honestly don't pay enough attention to know. But yeah, the 4 laps average speed, I really like how they do it off of speed instead of lap time. It's pretty cool. Usually that's how they list it, like at a NASCAR race in qualifying, but like the speed is not what they usually talk about in the broadcast, like missed by 0.2 or 0.02 or whatever. So I really like that. But yeah, the 4-lap thing, dude, is intense, bro.
yeah, a couple wrecks.
Yeah,
I saw 1 wreck at least, and then or was it 2 wrecks? And then I saw a highlight of it today. Was there a wreck in practice?
That guy's wrecked like 3 times or something. He
Like
also he
Larson.
spun out in front of Larson. Yeah, he's wrecked more than Larson, I think. He spun out in front of Larson the other day, and Larson checked up. Didn't check up because you can't check up, and then you wreck. So he just kind of he dodged it. But yeah, it was wild. Yeah, Rasmussen or something like that in the Splenda car, in the Splenda machine. So
wow.
They got some good sponsors in IndyCar. We got a Krieg car. We got a Splenda car. They had some interesting sponsors out there for sure. But I'm looking forward to going to Indy for sure. As far as the qualifying goes, like I said, it is crazy to me they spend 2 days qualifying, but it really builds for the race. It really reminds me of NASCAR Speed Weeks, how it used to be for Daytona, and it makes me disappointed we don't have that anymore. Really, rubbing on the cars with the sandpaper, trying to get that Bondo right, get every little second you can, and then obviously you see the issue with the cars getting disqualified for Penske, and essentially they Bondoed a gap. It's probably not Bondo, it's probably some other kind of carbon fiber filler, I guess, but really just tried to smooth that over for a little bit better aero for, the thousandth of a second that it would save or whatever, and got busted, but it's kind of interesting to see that, and definitely a little bit throwback for me back to the NASCAR days. It made me wish we still did that at Daytona, with the clash and qualifying and all that, and the extra practice time you used to get that mattered,
Yeah.
if you were in the what do you call it, the clash, back when the clash was the clash, or the Bud shootout really is probably more our age appropriate for what it was called more than the clash. I know it's called the clash again, but it was the Budweiser shootout for a long time when I remember really watching it, but. Yeah, it's pretty cool how they do that. Larson obviously sucked, which, I've got the shirt on, so that pretty well pissed me off a little bit. But I was just glad he got out there. He wrecked Friday, obviously, in a happy hour, ran out of talent. The qualifying is hard. I did not know this. I learned this on the Teardown podcast. Have y'all listened to that?
Mm-mm.
I haven't yet.
Okay. Gluck was talking about the fact that basically how they get this speed, and I was talking to Dad about this yesterday too, and I didn't know this when I talked to him, but how they get all this extra speed for qualifying is they give them 100 more horsepower with the turbo. They let them tune them up.
Jesus.
And that 100 horsepower gets them the extra 10 mile an hour. That's how they're doing 230. It's for qualifying only, and those cars are already a handful at 220, and you give them the extra 10, 12 miles an hour, and they're absolutely a nightmare to hold on to. So, just because you're terrible in qualifying or qualify 21st doesn't mean you're not going to race well. Obviously, your downforce is going to matter a lot more in the race when you're making passes, being able to draft up on people, fuel efficiency, and then, just being able to the technicalness of the IndyCar qualifying with the weight jackers, if you watched it all day, the weight jackers, the weight reduction, the roll bars, all this stuff that they're adjusting, that is crazy. They're like dadgum airplane pilots making an adjustment basically every corner, and that's impressive to me. I've never done anything like that, even on iRacing or anything like that. So I'm trying to think of it like playing Guitar Hero at 230 miles an hour is kind of how it feels, just like watching it, time and all that stuff exactly. So that was really cool. Obviously, like I said, Larson crashed. You had Newgarden and Power DQ'd after Scott McLaughlin wrecked in practice before qualifying. So he only had 9 cars qualify for the Fast 12 and the Fast 6, which is stupid. I'm not really an IndyCar fan, don't want to weigh too much into it, but it seems to me like whoever was in those next spots down should have had an opportunity to put their cars on the track and qualify in the Fast 12 and possibly the Fast 6, possibly the pole. It's a lot of money for the pole. I think it says $100,000 to win the pole.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money. But also, like I said, super intense. So really enjoyed the Indy 500. We'll see what Larson can do rolling off from 21st. At this point, I guess I'd be happy if he can just finish all the laps. I didn't realize, I guess Tony Stewart and him are the only ones to finish all the laps. Kurt Busch and Robbie Gordon have both done the double, but they both left early or wrecked.
Oh, wow.
So they didn't get the and I remember that thinking about one of them getting out of the race and somebody else finished the car. Obviously, Larson, you're not allowed to do that anymore, so he's either got to finish it or not. I think, so far the weather's looking, fingers crossed, weather's looking pretty good. We might be cold. It's high 71. So, might need some pants. I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but definitely looking forward to that. So, that was cool. Did y'all see here's a real random one. This is just for me. Y'all are Braves fans too. So, that Alvarado clown from the Phillies?
Yeah.
The relief pitcher? He got banned, thankfully, 80 games, PEDs.
Nice.
Screw him. Me and Dad went to did you go to that playoff game?
Mm-mm.
I don't think so. I think it was just me and Dad.
No.
He was the one that getting fans thrown out he was in the bullpen, pointing to security, throwing Braves fans out because they were talking to him, and I was like, wow, what an absolute woman. We're here in playoff baseball. You're making millions of dollars, and you're throwing fans out because your feelings got hurt. What an absolute
man.
loser. So I was glad to see him get banned. Also, I hate the Phillies and Bryce Harper. But yeah, I don't know. So that's what I had. Y'all have any weekend tidbits you've seen on the X or anything you want to throw
I
in there?
just want to mention how fast those damn Indy cars were going in qualifying. I was watching the highlights of the guy that set the pole. At one point, they said he was going 238 into a corner.
That's slow.
Yeah, okay.
And a rookie. I blew past that. That's pretty wild. Obviously, he used to be a backup driver for Ferrari. First time on an oval at all, which is wild to me. But yeah, definitely. Wow. What about you, D-Watt?
Real quick, baseball. I watched the Braves choke on Saturday night on Fox National TV. They had the lead, and then
Oh man,
was it like 8th inning or something like that? The Boston came back, and then they hit a freaking walk off and won.
Yep.
So I saw that live, but
yeah, it's getting rough out there.
Iglesias came in with a 4-run lead and gave up 1 or 2 at one point. Dad says they need to fire the whole bullpen, so start over, basically. So I don't know that he's wrong. We'll see what happens there. Strider's supposed to be starting. I was kind of hoping maybe we would move him to the bullpen or
That's
something.
what me and old Pops was talking about at dinner tonight. He's like, yeah, we might just need to go ahead and put him straight in the bullpen.
Well, if he could throw 103, let's just put him in the bullpen, let him throw 1 inning a night. Nobody's hitting 103. It don't matter how you are, you're not hitting that. So, I'm curious to see how he can throw after. But obviously, this ain't a baseball podcast, so we'll try to put that away too much. Real quick, Southern All-Stars. Couple things. They raced the doubleheader this weekend. North Alabama, and I can't remember where the other one was. Was it Sugar Creek? Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. It was one. No. Sugar Creek was Hunt the Front. It was somewhere down there in Alabama because they're really running those deep south tracks now. Anyways, Saturday night they were at North Alabama. Had a double rollover, including our old man friend Ronnie Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Ronnie took a rollover there. There was another car. Don't know who it was. Don't care. I was just really upset to see Ronnie flipped. I hope he's okay. Back at home in Chattanooga, I'm sure he's there with his 1978 Chevy Toter pickup semi truck that's ready to go. But the better highlight was, did you see Billy Franklin's interview? Did y'all happen to see this clip? I think I might have sent it to one of y'all on X, maybe not. He was apparently, somebody ran him over, and I guess he's tired of it, and he sponsors a series now, Franklin Enterprises.
Yeah.
And he was basically like, I'm tired of all these sons of bitches out here running me over. I've done paid for half the tires in the field, and blah, 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 blah. And if anybody gets in my damn way, I'm just going to run them over if that's what we're going to do from now. I mean, he was hot. It was a high-class interview. We had a couple of high-class interviews. We'll get to one from Max Blair here later.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
That made my night. I was driving home from from Hunt the Front when I heard that Smoky Mountain. That was a good one, too. So, definitely, interesting. Double rollover. I hadn't seen one of those in a long time. Like maybe back North Georgia boys. That's trying to think. I really hadn't seen a rollover in a minute. Thankfully, I guess that's good, but I kind of miss it. I like to see one every once in a while.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that on the way home when I saw that. The droop rule must work, right? It must. So I had that. Other than that, I had some McCrappy strips at McDonald's. If y'all want to try those new McCrispy strips, they are not chicken selects. Just for the record, don't buy any. They're garbage, okay? Just want to get that in there. It's very important why I got this podcast. West Virginia Motor Speedway. I-75 2.0 on the way. I think it is a 5/8, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be converted into a 3/8 mile on the inside.
Same thing as I-75, exactly.
Yeah. The renderings looked very similar, so we'll see what happens there. They have new owners. Obviously, wish them the best. It worked out really well for I-75. I've got to where I really enjoy watching races at that place. I hope at some point they can make enough money, get some big events in, maybe even tear the walls down and get us a little bit closer to the track, a little bit better vision, but from the backstretch. But looking forward to seeing what happens up there at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Obviously, love to see a track not get shut down. It's hard to get these guys to race on those big, long tracks and tear their stuff up. So looking forward to that. Other than that, moving on. Florent Marshtown. D-Watt, did you watch that one Tuesday?
I did. I tuned in Tuesday night, Marshalltown.
Well, give us a little recap. What'd you think?
Let's see here. So Tuesday night, let's see here if you got some notes on here. Was that the one that O'Neal did?
Yeah, O'Neal won.
Okay.
we started off with Brandon Overton on the pole at a 14-1-8-0. Overton wins the heat. Davenport wins the heat. Ferg wins the heat. Moran wins the heat. Had a great race there. The track, is that the one? It reminded me of like, no, that's not the one. I mean, it's just like all those races in Illinois last week.
Yeah.
They're in Marshalltown, Iowa.
Yeah. Didn't have any walls, and yeah, I think I watched up to the feature. I think that was not. It
was late.
It was moving pretty good. Okay, and then I think I probably went to bed, but I at least watched the first little bit of it. And O'Neal hadn't had the best of the season, so to see him, running away was good. So.
It was a really interesting race. I mean, like O'Neal took the lead off the start there, and then Pierce got past him. Then he got past Pierce. Then, like, there's a caution, about 9 laps ago, something like that. Overton and Bobby Pierce get at it. I mean, they were going at each other, haymaker sliders, back and forth. And then they end up having another restart, and Bobby throws it down into turn 1. Overton's the leader, and, I mean, this was one of these where, like, you could tell what was coming from turn 3 when Bobby got back on the gas, a half lap before they get to the restart zone and goes to the top. Like, he's just going to sling it down in there. He goes all the ways into turn 1, slides it all the ways up over the top. Like I said, no walls. And then Hudson comes out with the lead past both them because they were up monkeying around with each other. A little bit of a deal, one of those kind of catbird seat. Comes blowing past. But, dude, great racing between the 71, the 32, the 76, and the 32. The Flow series has been absolutely on kill. If you ask me. Obviously, they get to cheat a little bit because they get to pick the best of both worlds on the series by running the midweek. I love the midweek thing. That one did get a little late on us. They've done pretty good this year about not being too late. I have noticed this year they're running support classes. I feel like last year most of the races basically was no support classes, and they've had more this go round. But overall, that's pretty good. Thursday night we had Ward Outlaws and Lucas both checked in. We're going to cover Lucas first. I'm just going to go ahead and tell y'all, for those of you that are listening to this that may or may not be dirt racing fans, unless you're from Illinois, you're going to understand this, but I'm telling you right now that the Lucas Series is just stronger top competition at this point than Ward Outlaws. And I'm a little bit biased. I got the Lucas sticker right back there. First ever, national late model race I went to was Lucas race. With old Dewatt down to Dixie Speedway in Woodstock, Georgia. But Chase Elliott, I think, might have raced. Not that night. He raced later. Anyways, but that's where it was at. I've always been a Lucas guy back to when my boy JD was in the 15 Georgia Boot Boyer Dirt machine. But, yeah, I just kind of to say, like, obviously they both had big weekends. The Lucas guys are just absolutely all over. Your top 4 or 5 right there, just all over each other the whole night. But anybody watch Thursday?
Yeah.
Take a turn?
Sure did.
Yeah, Eagle, I like the track. It's good dirt like we've talked about last week. But Thornton's he's on fire minus Friday. He kind of I don't know if he made contact with another guy Friday night. But anyway, back to Thursday. I know all in all I thought it was a good feature. JD had a good weekend just in general. So
yeah, Mr. Consistency.
Yeah, he's definitely running up front a lot, and it seems like this weekend was really like the first full weekend. I feel like he was able to put together a good multiple races.
First weekend, he had finished outside the top 10 all year.
He hasn't been in the top 3 consistently.
Yeah, he really has been running some in that 5 to 7, 5 to 8 range, but. Yeah, obviously RTJ was strong. Thursday there, Thursday, I believe that was the one he just ran the show pretty much on him.
Yeah.
Fast time Thursday was Alberson. Alberson's been really good in qualifying, just not raced that good. He's kind of always had a little bit of that to him. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a setup
he's
thing.
The next Shannon Buckingham.
Yeah. Ouch. He's just always had a little bit of that to him. But, yeah, Hudson wins the heat race number 1, sits on the pole with Alberson there. And Ricky Thornton started 6th. I mean, he had to come up through there. He makes it up through there. 71 led till lap 12. It took Ricky all of 12 laps to get from 6th to 1st, and then he pretty well just took it from there. Davenport took a couple runs at him. Like 6 to go, like for some reason, like in turn 4, Ricky absolutely just jumps the cushion, gets in the wall. And Davenport sucked back up on him. They ended up having a caution after that. They went back and forth a little bit, and then they got like dadgum NASCAR Xfinity Series had another caution. They had like 3 cautions in 3 laps, and RTJ I really think, had a chance to clean his tires up, get calmed down, because Davenport was really running him down after he jumped the cushion bad the one time. But I think he just had enough time to get it calmed down. I really felt like if they would just had 1 caution even, because the second caution, Thornton jumped it in turn 2, jumps the cushion, Davenport pulls up on him, and it was one of those, like, hate to quote James Essex, but please stay green. If it would stay green, it might have been a good one. But 20RT gets the win over Davenport, and the 40B, Kyle Bronson. Obviously, Bronson took some time off. Seems like he's had his stuff back together this weekend. Had a pretty good weekend at Eagle as well. So happy for him on that. Not that I'm the biggest Big Neck Bronson fan, but
definitely not.
Good to see him making, anybody that has to take a little time off, settle down, get it back together. I'm glad to see that. We need as many guys out here as we can get it. So he followed that up again on Friday with another win. Wire to wire, boys. We'll make this one short and sweet. Right. Nutrient Ag number 49. This one on my hat. That one on your wall. That one on your wall. Let it. Lap 1, lap 40, whatever it was. Didn't look back. That one dude, that Tad Popsicle or whatever the hell. Bruh, on the pole in a Lucas race. Was he from like Minnesota or Montana or somewhere up there? Never heard of him, but he looked good. He set the pole, won his heat, and he was running up there. I put a note in here. He was doing good till 3 to go. He got a yellow, like hit the wall or something like that. He was running top 5. Only RT and then Bronson both. They had a pretty good battle for second. 49 was gone. He had put it on him.
He was digging.
Yeah, they got their stuff. Like Mr. Consistency been there all year, so gets the win on Friday. Saturday we go for 50K, 75 laps, $50,000 to win. They had a weird name for this race. I meant to quote it in here.
Malvern High Bank Heist.
High Bank Heist. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, the Malvern.
It was
Bank
a mouthful. Yeah. If you had a couple too many Busch lattes, you ain't gonna be able to say that. I was looking like we could tone it back a little bit, but this Eagle Raceway out there in Nebraska looks like a cool place to go. Probably not ever going to Nebraska if I do. Although the Tennessee Volunteers are supposed to be going to Nebraska. Or no, did that series get canceled? I think we might just cancel that series actually. If not, I might go. That'd be cool to go out there for that. But Saturday night, get up there. Again, Alberson on the pole. Heat race winners, Alberson, Davenport, RTJ, Brandon Shepard. Sheppy looked better. I had $1 for every time Davenport and Thornton were a heat race winner this year. Whew,
have a lot of dollars.
I could probably retire. So, they've been smacking it around. Ends up being a pretty good race. I was on the way home watching this in the car. Y'all got any comments you want to make, or you want me to read through it?
For the race Saturday, I watched. I think I watched most of it live, but then I went back and watched a replay of it. This Thornton was just looked like he just kind of dominating.
Yeah,
he's got out front, and then nobody really. I thought it was a good smooth track with a pretty good cushion up top, and just RTJ just. It was a pretty good battle with the Davenport, but just
there's Davenport a couple times they raced really hard, but
they're mid to the end. They raced good, just. RTJ is like when he gets out front, and he's good, and I get tired of him winning honestly. But I mean, I'm a fan of him. I guess. I mean, I don't mind him winning, whatever. Just he's on top right now. He's got it figured out.
Yeah, we said that last week about the getting tired of it. I kind of going back on that. I'm really not. I like to see him up there. I like him all the ways back from me and JP went to the Dome. Watch him run the modified, the midget, and all that, and. I'm a pretty big fan, but also I like the thing about him that he's got going for him. He's got a little bit of that underdog where he's had the different teams, different owners. Can't keep a team together even. It sounds like can't keep a crew together for this Kohler Motorsports. He's got crew chiefs leaving him left and right.
Yeah.
Picks up some really good guys. They go away pretty quick. Go to other guys that I guess getting paid more. And the fact that he's still making his own decisions on the wrenches for all these races, really not without a crew chief. Basically, he's the one making the calls. that's impressive to me.
Yeah.
The mechanicals of this stuff is hard, especially with the new tires, and the fact that he's been able to do the new tires and continue to dominate. But really awesome track out there at Eagle. I thought it was really good for the Saturday feature. Like you said, it's smoothed off, probably more than it did the other nights. I think the extra laps helped with that, and I get tired of smooth tracks. We talk about that around here, but it was smooth track with a cushion though.
Yeah.
And it had a wall, which is different, than what we've seen, the last week being in Illinois and all that. But it was a little bit longer too, so really good race there. I felt like Davenport tried. He gave it everything he had. He just didn't have enough in the tank. Ricky had it hooked up. So Big Shock 20 RT 49.99, top 3 in Lucas at this point. I'd say that's pretty well what you can just expect from now on. I mean, we're going to show me. You expect it to be any different this weekend?
No.
I don't know. So just kind of overall update on the Lucas Oil late models. Ricky Thornton Jr. has a 45-point lead over Jonathan Davenport, 165-point lead on Moran. Alberson O'Neill at 400 behind, 445 behind, with Overton closing in on them at 485. So you really have a pretty good battle between Thornton and Davenport. Moran's sitting there in third, and he's going to have to continue to run well because otherwise he's going to let them other guys in. But that Overton, O'Neill, Alberson, that's a hot battle right there for that last spot. And if Moran doesn't keep running well, he's going to be in that. Shepard, he's tried, but they've done better, but they still haven't put it together. Dalton Wilson, I really was expecting him to do a little better this year. I feel like he's on a little bit of a fade at this point in the year, but we'll see what happens. Obviously going into it, so it's all about being that 4. Like I said, they're going to Show Me 100 this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, y'all going to have to help me out. You're going to have to watch that because I'm going to be driving. So somebody's going to have to cover that one start to finish. So y'all figure that out after this. Whoever wants it, I'm just going to sit here and watch the highlights and be like, yeah! I'll go ahead and take Davenport to win for the rest of y'all too. Just kidding. I kind of want O'Neill. I don't really know. Hudson runs really good out there. But other than that, like I said already, Lucas, those 4 drivers that we mentioned, really the top 6 probably at this point, they're all good.
Yeah.
And you don't have that parity through World Outlaws, which we're about to talk about all the ways through, but they're getting a little better, I think. We'll talk about it over the weekend, but
And the other top 4 to 6 guys in Lucas are good, but I mean, still, I don't know that anybody's been better than the 20 RT this year. Just,
I mean,
overall,
probably not. One thing that I hate, and like this is a good point to talk about it before we get into talking about him whooping everybody's ass, basically. But like, I hate the fact that him and Pierce don't race every weekend. I hate that.
Yeah.
That's one thing I hate about the late model thing and running series on top of each other and like.
Bobby's scared. That's why he doesn't do it.
It's not. He's not scared. It's because he's getting paid, and I get it. And he's getting paid, and he's winning a lot. And but could he run this Lucas Tour and win, or would he lose? I don't know. I mean, there's something like I don't know that he'd be in the top 3. I mean, the competition's just a lot hotter. It's getting. We'll talk about it. It's getting better in World Outlaws. I feel like it really picked up this week in particular, in the last 2 weeks. But I don't know. It just sucks. It's one thing I hate to see. World Outlaws about to take a month off, so we'll see where these guys race. I'd assume there's a good chance Bobby's going to make it out to the Show Me here. See if he can't make a little money. It pays like $75,000 to win, I think. So, he's going to need, I'm assuming, to go try to win something. So, it is kind of strange they're going to take a month off. But yeah, anyways, getting into World Outlaws. Anybody watch Raceway 7?
Yes, I did. I'll go ahead right quick. T-Mac is back, it seems like, at least.
Yeah.
He won, Thursday and Sunday.
Yep, Thursday and Sunday.
So he's just excited. He got out of the car and was, slinging his beer everywhere, and he won. And he's had somewhat some struggles, not major struggles, but different cars, different rides over the years, and to see him, he's back. Maybe he'll.
It's good to see him win.
Be consistent. Oh yeah, he's.
Yeah, back in the Longhorn, just for the record.
Yep.
Yeah, you had Drake Troutman takes fast time. T-Mac wins the heat. Pierce wins the heat. Winger wins the heat. Shirley wins the heat. Good weekend for Winger overall too, and obviously Bobby Pierce as well. T-Mac pretty much whooped him. Really special for him. I felt like it was him and Winger on the front row. He was on the outside, and he just passed him right from the get-go and never really looked back. It was 1 year from the day his dad died, so I can imagine that was a big thing for him. It looked pretty tough in Victory Lane. One thing about the beer comments, the real American beer or whatever, still hadn't found any, hadn't seen any, so I haven't bought any. But if I see some, I'll buy it. It's not available in Tennessee, I don't think. But the whole thing about them having that sponsor and putting the stuff on the car, I think that's pretty cool. I do like that. Florida Outlaws. I mean, JD's going to find him a long neck Busch Light. I'll tell you that right now. It don't matter where they're at. He's going to find him a long neck Busch Light. Bottles only, baby. Cans when we lose, bottles when we win. Can I get an amen? He should put that on a T-shirt. JD, you put that on a T-shirt, I'll promote him. Hell, I'll sell you 3 right now. So, cans for second, long necks for first, baby. But, I don't know, man. Really glad to see T-Mac win. They're clearly getting their crap figured out with the Longhorn. This is like week 3, maybe 4 at most back in the Longhorn, and this is his third. Well, he got 3 wins. This was his second, I guess. Obviously got the tires figured out. I felt like that track, it reminded me a lot of Smoky Mountain before they shortened her down. Just kind of watching on TV. I don't really know what the side was, but it wasn't super banked. It's not like it didn't have the long turns like Florence. It's still kind of a tight front to back, and it just reminded me a little bit of that. That's what I thought. But Friday night they get rained out, move on to Marion Center from Raceway 7. Marion Center is in Pennsylvania. They got rained out Friday, so that was a real tough one to cover. I heard there's a lot of beer gut drink, and Bobby Pierce didn't win Friday, so that worked out well.
That's good.
Saturday, Raceway 7. This one was a bigger payday, if I'm not mistaken, probably like $3,000. It's probably 35 laps to win. Just kidding. I really need to quit hating on World Outlaws for their short features. That T-Mac race, we didn't mention this. That race on Thursday was 35 laps. That is not, it's just not enough. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's $12,000. 35 laps is not enough for a national tour race. I had to watch it at Smoky Mountain. It pissed me off. It's just not enough.
Like you say, 35 laps for $12,000. You go watch a Ray Cook race. That's $10,053. It's 53 laps.
I understand that this is a higher grade than Southern All-Stars or Spring Nationals, but still, I don't know. 40 lap is a minimum feature to me. That's got to be the minimum, unless you go like a mile track or something. I just feel like 40's got to be the minimum. That's what think about back when we used to go to Boyd's in the day or Cleveland or whatever. When they had a special, it's 40 laps, right? Regardless of what they paid. I don't know. But anyways, Marion Center, $30,000 to win on Saturday night. 60 laps, $30,000. So Lucas raced for 50,075 laps. I think. Is that right? I think it's 50. I think.
Something like that.
I don't know. So. It was, so it is what it is. World Outlaws, I think, does pay better from top to bottom, though. I think they're trying to work on that a little bit as far as trying to adopt that so they can keep their guys on the road. But it's also why the guys that can't win go race over there. Sorry, I didn't say that out loud. Wow, that was aggressive. That was aggressive. Sorry, guys. Don't worry, there is one guy that can win. Let's see, fast time. Ryan Gustin. I didn't get to watch all of the prelim, the heats, and all that, but I did get to watch the feature. Pierce, Hoffman, Gustin, Cody Overton. Cody Overton's been real hit or miss. Yeah. Can I get an amen?
Yeah.
Sometimes he's up there. He had a really strong speed weeks, fell off, just randomly pops up and is in the top 3 for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we give him another couple years, he'll definitely be up there. But Tanner English, y'all see he had to make a start in that other car.
No,
I guess theirs broke. They had to rent some nothing against whoever it was, but it was a 31 and it looked old. So but to get his points or whatever, had to do that. So made that start. But yeah, so we go off there on the redraw. Augustin and Pierce on the front row, and do you want to let you take it from there?
Yeah, just Pierce is dominating. Just he's one guy he wins and just give me a break. But hey, he's winning. Whatever. Somebody's got to step it up. I guess I like Hoffman in the Outlaw series. I guess he'd be my driver for the World of Outlaws, and Gustin. Those two guys would be the guys I like to pull for. But until Bobby Pierce is good, so somebody's got to step up and
do something.
Do something, yeah.
Yeah.
Step up.
Yeah, he dominated the whole race, led off the front row, and he gone. Unfortunately, there was a couple interesting, notes in this race. Apparently, I haven't really ever been able to find a video of what actually happened. Apparently, Max Blair got mad at 12-car Ashton Winger. JP, I know you really enjoyed. Did you get the quote on that?
Yeah, he said the 12 car's a little shit. You can tell he's never had to pay for anything he's drove.
Yeah.
I've seen Winger get in a couple fights, and one that most everybody knows about at I-75. He definitely he ain't scared to send it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, did his dad get arrested for hitting somebody in the head with a hammer or something? Am I really jumping out there? I thought no, that was
Garrett.
that wasn't
Smith.
Winger. Yeah,
I'm
whatever
pretty sure it was
it
Garrett
was.
Smith's dad.
That was that one that old what's his name? G.R. Smith was somehow involved and all that crap too. Yeah, I don't know. Ashton's all right. I like Ashton. Obviously, we get to see him race around here. We see him in pretty much all regional series.
Yeah.
I guess he's running Outlaws, but I don't know. I don't have a problem with him. I got a couple shirts from some cars that he doesn't drive anymore, but. I mean, he does tear some shit up, boys. Can we all agree? Can we all agree to that? But you ain't worried about him sending it, I just thought it was funny. Max Blair, obviously, I think he's hard-nosed. He's not a regional racer, but he drives his own stuff, and he's tried for some teams. Didn't really work out. He did the Boom Briggs thing. Wasn't really it for him. And back in his own stuff now, and, he's doing the best he can. And, it's probably frustrating. I just would be curious to see what happened. I was kind of sad that Port Outlaws didn't have that on Dirt Vision replay, what actually happened. I seen they were kind of around each other. I don't know if it looked almost like something happened in turns 1 and 2 on a restart, and he had to check up. But I couldn't really quite tell what happened there, but I'd love to know. And I'd also like to know what, Ashton said back to that. Ruben did not handle that very well. Did y'all catch that on the broadcast?
No, I didn't.
I mean, I felt like, whenever Max Blair's like, he's a dipshit, I was like, this is your time to shine. Be like, yeah, Winger did this, and he's just like, clearly Max Blair is very frustrated with Ashton Winger. I was like, oh, shit. But, yeah, I don't know. That was interesting. Like I said, that was pretty much the highlight of the race. Pretty much Booby dominates. Make sure I get that right. I don't want to say that the wrong way. Booby dominates over the 9-car Nick Hoffman, not the 9-car T-Mac, followed by Ryan Gustin. McCready finished 19th. So I don't think he finished the race, actually, if I'm not mistaken on that. But I was watching that on the way home from Smoky Mountain in the console. Confession, while I was at Smoky Mountain during the, I think it was either Street Stocks or the Front Runners. Everybody had pulled out of there, and I just pulled the truck up and was like, Dirt Vision, racetrack, same time. With the truck running. It was great. But, yeah, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. But it was cool. I got to watch both of them because they both started, pretty much one after another. So I flipped right from World Outlaws over to Lucas. And about the time I pulled in the house, Lucas was ending. So it worked out pretty good for me. But, I don't know. Sunday, World Outlaws goes to Bedford. How many laps?
35.
All right, 35.
Oh, okay.
Riley Herbst. Yeah, here we go, doing this bullshit again. Sorry.
I watched that and off. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, I watched the Outlaws race and the Open / All-Star race at the same time. I had the laptop up with Dirt Vision, and I had the FS1 going with the All-Star. So
Yep.
it's cool to watch both at the same time.
Do you what? You're gonna have to go down to Walmart this weekend and spend $100 on another couple TVs. We got these on TVs with Roku built in, buddy. You can just line them up 1, 2, 3 as many as you need.
But laptop,
It's tough.
TV, couple TVs, phone. I need some more. Ways to watch these sports.
Well, no, you can't. You can't be watching on your phone because you got to text me and put your notes in for the podcast. So you gotta, obviously I put the notes in the document I send y'all before you do these things. But I keep all of my regular just on my notes app in my phone, and then I email them over, and you usually move it on the laptop or whatever. But we're gonna get better about getting those a little bit ahead, and that way everybody can add to that throughout the week. That way we don't have to do all that. And we're going to start assigning out races, so I'm going to sit here and give y'all grades after you go and tell us the story what happens. Y'all better take some damn good notes, that's all I'm saying.
All right.
I'll send you mine from Smoky Mountain because I took some grade A notes at Smoky Mountain, which had no working scoreboard, just for the record. But yeah, Balt v. Pierce won Saturday. Not so much on Sunday. T-Mac caps it off with $20,000 win at Bedford. JP, I'm pretty sure our mother's cousin Tim goes to Bedford. I was really curious
to go to.
I think he used to, like, when he raced back in the day, it was like Enduros or something, but he's told me that he goes there to watch them a lot. So I was curious if he was there. Old Timmy Stump, if you happen to see this on Facebook, you might. Congratulations. I don't know if you got to go. If not, hope you're doing well. But yeah, I don't know. You know, I'd like to go on, like, a little track tour up there in Pennsylvania one of these days. But I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I got some other tracks to go to. Trying to check off all the big ones, so you know, we'll see what else we check off in the next year. You know, Indy 500 is definitely big time, so we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, pretty much T-Mac just they started the race. He was gone. He was on the front row with Pierce left him, and Bobby finished second. Good run for Dustin Sorensen, finishing third. Obviously, I think he's going for Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. More Outlaws. Somebody tell me I'm right. Somebody tell me I'm wrong.
So.
I think so. Other than that, notes for that one. I was also watching it like you were. There was a yellow at lap 18. Other than that, it was pretty much clean green, and I think everybody's ready to go home. It's Sunday. You know, I don't know if you ever noticed that. A lot of these Sunday, like, afternoon into evening races, they're just ready to go to the house. Like, let me load it up. Long week, obviously coming off the Illinois Speed Weeks, followed up with another flow race, with 3-day race with one rain out. Hell, they had a 4-day weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 5 races for the World Outlaw guys this week if they ran the flow race. So a lot of racing going on. They get a month off. Their next race is at, I put it somewhere in here. Their next race is going to be June 20th, Firecracker 100. Is that at JP?
Lernerville?
Lernerville, that's right.
Yeah.
So, you know, they get some time off. Curious to see what they do. I was looking at the schedule. It's kind of strange. There's a few races, but there's not that many. Obviously, we were supposed to have that Pennsboro 25,000 to win. XRSS. It got canceled. Big shock. Big shock. I'm not going to talk crap about XR. But I don't love XR. Y'all know the deal from the Bulls Gap where I spent like an extra $200 that basically got burned.
Oh, yeah, because you were the only one that did that.
Yeah, well, at least I got a refund. The poor guys next to me didn't, but they were also driving a $200,000 truck, and I wasn't, so I'm sure they could afford it. But, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is, so good to see that. We'll see what happens with them. I wanted to touch – we touched on the Lucas points just to clean up real quick on World Outlaws points. Bobby's got an 88-point lead over Hoffman, Gustin 134-pack. Troutman like 198, and then everybody else is on back there after that. McCready is 220 back. Really curious to see what happens with him. He's up to 2 wins now, which him and Gustin are the only ones with multiple wins other than Pierce. Definitely curious to see what happens. You know, McCready had a pretty rough start in the Rocket deal, and now that he's back in the Longhorn, I feel like he's really got it righted in the right direction. So we'll see what he can do going forwards. That's who I will be watching. Hoffman needs to step it up. Gus needs to step it up. Troutman, he's not going to. Sorry, he's just not quite there. I don't think the equipment's there. But McCready, you know, if he really gets it together and Bobby has a little bit of a rough run, then maybe he has a chance. So we'll see what happens at that. All right, moving on real quick. I'm going to blow through this because we need to get to this NASCAR stuff. We're running out of time. All right, on to front. Friday, they were at Sugar Creek Raceway. Jimmy Owens wins over the 17M Dale McDowell. To quote Jimmy Owens, the old geezers put a ass whooping on the young punks. So I love it. I love it. I felt like Skip Robinson was standing in the corner like, yes, old Ben. but no, I mean, I was also that way. That's how I felt about it, seeing both them up there. And, you know, it's like Owen's birthday or McDowell's birthday. It was one of their birthdays. I don't know. But good to see them get the win. Sugar Creek still had never made it there. We got to figure out where that's at. It's somewhere in Georgia, not that far from y'all. One of these days we're going to have to make it down there. But I think it's in North Georgia somewhere.
Yeah, it's Blue Ridge area, I believe. I have not been, no.
It's not Blue Ridge, is it? Because I know some of these tracks get renamed, but there was a Blue Ridge track.
Maybe it used to be called Blue Ridge.
Okay. It might. If it's that, it's in Blue Ridge, Georgia then. I do know where that one was at, if that's what it is. But, you know, I know Booger and them go down there and race a good bit. So, and, you know, they're running Hunt's front, so. It's like 7,000 win, but Owens gets a win. That was Owens 2 in a row there, I guess, coming off his win from the previous weekend at Rock Castle. Was it Rock Castle? No, Lake Cumberland. I'm sorry. He won at Lake Cumberland. So Jimmy's got his stuff pointing back in the right direction, obviously running the regional thing. This Hunt the Front series, though, is not a joke. 35 cars both nights. It's a regional tour, but it's a regional tour. Like, it's pretty tough. Definitely good competition. So, Saturday night, Owen Sets Fast Time. If y'all saw my TikTok, I put, like, little clips of all the cars I thought was going to be really cool. It wasn't that cool. Nobody liked it. I couldn't post it. So, thankfully, Hunt the Front hadn't called me and told me to take it down yet. So, everybody go out and watch the Hunt the Front race. It's a great series. I love their series. It's great. Go support Hunt the Front. Buy some number 10 merch and HTF merch. I got a hat somewhere. I was wanting a Smoky Mountain sticker, but they didn't have it. I need to put on Toolbox.
Okay. I was going to text you about it, but...
Yeah, I did look. I watched qualifying from the front stretch. Okay. Oddly enough, I just, I got the pit pass, walked through, and I didn't really walk in the back pits that much. I just didn't feel the need to. But walked up to the front, was hoping to buy some T-shirts, wasted some more money. Went to ATM on the way there, had a handful of cash. All I had for merch was Jimmy Owens and Joyner. That's it. Nothing else. I don't know. I'm curious if there's a reason for that. I was going to maybe mention it. I'm curious. Is it possible that somebody's trying to take too much money out of that Hunt the Front race? Because we went to the other one, I-75, right? Did I meet you there? Wasn't that Hunt the Front we went to?
Yeah.
They had nobody else selling merch there either. So
no, they had Hunt the Front series. I think it was Hunt the Front had their trailer.
Yeah.
With Joyner probably as well. But and then it was Owens. And
I don't think Hedgecock stuff was there either.
No,
so,
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm just curious if there's something going on there with the Hunt the Front. If there's not, they need to. For being a regional series, this is my suggestion to the Joyner fellers. Figure out a way, if you're going to have guys sign up for this tour, figure out some kind of vendor, whether, like for Outlaws you have, Arizona. For Lucas, you got now it's Mark of Valor or something like that makes these shirts for these guys. Try to get at least a few shirts of each of your team guys, even if you sell them out of your own trailer and take a cut, whatever. Just try to get, if you want to help your series a little bit, we got to get some of the drivers. I love the Hunt the Front thing. It's awesome. You guys made it. It's a great brand. But unfortunately, where you did your YouTube thing and then you did your own team thing, like now you're doing your series, I got enough of that. So let's move on to let's see if we can get your drivers maybe with the Hunt the Front, like a Jimmy Owens Hunt the Front or Corey Hedgecock Hunt the Front or Jackson Heiss. It's a weird number, 388. I'd love a Jackson Heiss shirt. I know it sounds dumb, but that's just kind of how I feel. Zach Mitchell. I'd love a Zach Mitchell shirt. Didn't see one. So, anyways, that's my little rant for the day. Figure that out. Luke Morey, another one. But yeah, Heat 1, Jimmy Owens wins over Mike Marlar. Boys, they were going at it. Oh, Mikey was on the smash pedal. He was in a brand new Infinitus. I don't know if y'all saw. They posted Thursday. Wells Motorsports did that it was rolling out. And he had it at the track. Not Friday, but Saturday. They had it stickered up and out there. And Mikey did not give a dang how new it was. He was on the pedal. So I thought he was going to do a little bit better. The track was pretty rubbered up, pretty one lane for the heats, unfortunately. And the B, he obviously started with Jimmy there in his first heat, went behind him. Jimmy wins the heat, McDowell wins the heat, Zach Mitchell wins the heat, and the Monterey Missile won his heat as well. They had two B mains. 23V wrecked in qualifying. Forgot to tell you that. JP picked Corey Hedgecock to win this race last week, and Corey was like, green flag, goes in turn one. Absolutely just decided to tank slap the shit out of Wald in two. I don't know what he was doing. But I look up, I'm like I have my video out ready to get him at this in the track, and I look back, and he's in the fence. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? He had a rough weekend. I saw it on his Facebook, so hopefully he can recover from that. But, he's probably expecting a big weekend, had a rough weekend, so not doing too hot in the points. But, yeah, he skipped the B main, took provisional, moves on from that. After the B mains, I was like, look, in this track, if the sun wasn't quite down, it was black, slick. I might have sent JP a picture. I can't remember. It was black.
It was slick.
And I think, though, as the sun went down, the temperature dropped. It's not super hot. I felt like the moisture came back a little bit. And about halfway through the feature, I really felt like it started to get a little bit of grip back, top, bottom. And you got to see the guys' different run. I know, McDowell was leading. And I know y'all are going to be surprised to hear this. He was on the bottom. He did get, Owens, I guess, made a run on him. And the stick man was like, no, top, block him. And he did go up and block him. And I felt like if he would have stayed at the bottom and they really were on top and bottom, I'm not sure Owens wouldn't have got around him. But he went up, took his air off the nose, really, in the 3 and 4 end. And McDowell ends up winning, so they basically split first and second, just reverse order Friday, Saturday, which I'm good with that. Marler finished 4th. Zach Mitchell finished 3rd. Zach Mitchell, I believe, is leading the points for the Hunt the Front series. Congratulations to him. I like him. He's growing on me. I need a T-shirt. We need some at the racetrack, particularly to Hunt the Front race. I'll probably go to another one this year, so try again. Have your shirts there. All right. Only thing I want to say about Smoky Mountain, 3 things. Bathrooms. Best bathrooms in dirt racing in Tennessee. Not even close.
Agreed.
I took a picture of the pooper, and I haven't posted yet, but I am going to, and I'm telling you, they know what they're doing. It's nicer than Eldora. Their bathrooms are nice. It matters. That matters to me. Because if I know there's a bathroom that's nice, I don't feel scared to go eat a cheesesteak from the food truck. They had a food truck. It was called Mike something food truck. Cheesesteak was banging. Took a picture of that. Got a cheesesteak and fries. It was like $20, but cheesesteak and fries. It was a big cheesesteak, decent side of fries. Not too bad, really. I mean, it's not good, but, no, it's $15. I'm sorry. It was $12 for a sandwich, and then $3 for the fries. So it's $15, not $20. So really, that's a decent price. Honestly, you can't do that at McDonald's. Really,
No.
honestly. So, ate that, and then like I said, the no merge thing. Just want to talk about that. So, the food truck was awesome. They had the chicken tender sign. I went back over there and was like, I could really go for a chicken tender at like 10 o'clock, and they were like, oh, we can't sell chicken tenders. They only have them at the concession stand. I was like, well, then take it off the damn sign, okay? Gah! Just wanted a chicken tender. That's it. And the line was really long. So I went back to the truck and ate Sun Chips. Sat on the backstretch in the grandstands. If anybody watched it on Hunt the Front TV, I was the only guy there in a blue shirt. So, yeah, that was me. I was wearing a blue 157 shirt, sitting there with a Baja Blast Zero and some Sun Chips. So if you see me, congratulations. I didn't get a good parking spot, really, in the tier parking. Still love tier parking. Only place I'd ever go there, get your pit pass, walk around, do what you want to do. Great access. But I sat down there. If y'all go, we need to go sit down there. Y'all need to go try that little grandstand. It is a very good viewpoint. You can really see the whole track better than I thought you could if you sit in the right place. You got to go farther towards, 3 and 4. I think now, that's the first time I've even been down there since they moved 3 and 4. But basically, you're, at the lift point. You hear them, but then by the time they get to you, you don't hear them anymore, which is cool, especially on the black slick track, and, it worked out. Other than that, Jason Manley, who has an attitude problem from time to time, as y'all probably know, he got mad at Cade Loudy. I don't know what happened. Loudy must have got into him. They said on the replay, they said over the PA that he got into him and spun him out 32. Jason Manley was not real happy with 126. Went up there, gave him some attitude, and then he ended up parking it. I was hoping he was going to turn him on the restart, but he did not. It's unfortunate because I like it when guys get mad like that. But other than that, sorry, got to Sportsman race. 10 bounds. Y'all know you've seen 10 bounds raced around here.
Yeah.
Plenty. There's a 10 car in the Sportsman race. It was not 10 bounds. It was I got it in my notes somewhere. Can't find it. It was some other 10 car. It wasn't. It wasn't that
Llewellyn?
No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else I hadn't heard of. So it was not Bradley Llewellyn. It was somebody else. So Dim Bounds gets under this guy coming off 4, spins him. He hits the wall, junked the radiator. Probably gonna need a motor. He was pissed. And Tim Bounds is sitting down there in the infield. I like they come around turn 2, pull back in the infield, head for the chute, and he's sitting down there, and his family or whatever's over there, and this dude comes all the ways from turn 4, walks from turn 4 where they're hooking his car up to the wrecker, all the ways down to Tim Bounds' car, and just starts beating the shit out of the top of his race car. Stuck his head in the window. I'm sure said some choice words, started beating on top of the car. Bounds would not get out of the car. He fires it back up, rolls back around for 3 laps under caution. The guy ends up walking away, and then he parks it again as soon as the guy walks away. And I was like, I think he's skilled. Daddy. I think he's skilled. This is good to see a little action. We hadn't seen too much anger at the racetrack the last few times I've been with y'all. But other than that, great weekend. Like I said, Word Outlaws, next race, June 20th, Firecracker 100. Lucas is Show Me 100, 10K, 75K, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Spring National, Sugar Creek, North Georgia. Y'all going to go? Y'all could go on a date to North Georgia. Double date. Just double date, North Georgia.
Yeah,
Back the
there
truck
we
up the
go.
fence. I'm just saying. Duck River on Sunday. Topless going to be at Smoky on Saturday, Tazewell on Sunday, and there's really not a Monday race for Memorial Day this year. Other than that, well, no, there's nothing, I guess. XR was supposed to have a $25,000 race at Pennsboro Speedway, got canceled. I think, unfortunately, Barry Braun is sick or something like that. I'm not really sure. I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook. Y'all have to investigate that for yourself. I don't want to say too much. But, unfortunately, that race got canceled, according to dirtondirt.com, as of, like, 4 o'clock this afternoon on May 19th. So, that's just what I saw on their Dirt on Dirt schedule. But Topless, Smoky, Topless, Tazewell, y'all could go to that. Either of those would be great. If you're in town, North Georgia, 10K. If I was at home, I'd be trying to go to that. So, like I said, if y'all want a double date, y'all can coordinate that together. Thank me later. All right. And Sugar Creek again. So, Sugar Creek, back-to-back Friday nights, 7,500 to win. Probably be honestly, it's probably going to be the same guys because on the front's off. So, you'd imagine it's going to be about the same field, I reckon. So, we'll see how it's there. All right, moving on. NASCAR. North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. I didn't get to watch the truck race. I was driving. D-Watt. I'm going to give the quick.
Okay, I can give a quick one because I didn't see the beginning. I saw the end, and I'll give my opinion on the end.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll cut to the chase to the end. Like I said, I didn't see much at the beginning. I was watching qualifying from Indy. So I'll just get on down to the end here. What was it? Riggs and who was he getting into it with? Heim. Time.
Yeah.
So I'll try to make this quick. So Riggs got up to. I didn't see anything too aggressive with it, in my opinion. Got to his door. I don't think he put him in the wall. It didn't look like. Anyway, so did he just get loose or get loose up by the wall and spun out? So anyway, he's out here. So he spun out in the last lap. Was it something like that? So after the race, he comes all the way around. But and he didn't like, hit him on anything on the cooldown lap, so that was good. Yeah. But anyway, so he's walking. It's one of his long walk that they got to interview him while he's walking. Kind of like this dramatic, kind of walk they love to hype up on FS1, which is great. I love it. Whatever. Yeah. How these guys say what they want to say to the camera, and then have those two people talk. Those two drivers can talk and say what they want to say. So he finally gets to him, and he's drinking one of his caffeine drink or whatever, and then he's just kind of got that cocky feel to him, which I like Heim, but I feel like he just always has a little something to say. Which, I guess if you get wrecked, I'd have something to say too. So anyway, he gets to him, and he says, well, I probably can't say what he said, but I saw some clips on X of what he told him. Basically told him to quit messing around or you're going to get taken care of.
Yeah.
So pretty quick. No pushing or shoving.
Didn't let Lane say anything back. He just turned his head and walked off.
Yeah. See, not a big fan of that. Like, I get it. Just say what you guys saying. Keep moving. Move along, I guess. But then Lane was trying to point to what was going on.
Talk about something, and it just gave him no attention.
I just feel like some of these guys are like, "Don't touch my car," and blah 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 out on the track. I'll get more into that after here in a little bit. But they get all worked up. But all in all, I'm glad it's back. It's a great track, and which we'll get into here in a minute on the Cup side of it. But best short track. I'm behind it. I'm fine to say that. I thought Kyle Busch didn't run as well as I thought as he would run. I thought he would kind of maybe all those days of him dominating trucks are slowly coming to an end, maybe. But I don't know if the Spire just doesn't have the equipment that the other guys have. It seems like they have good trucks that run well. But I didn't know he was in it till I saw it on TV. So that kind of caught me off guard that he was in. Otherwise, I probably would have picked him. But all in all, I like to see some good tight racing at the end, and Heim probably had the best truck. He led most of it, it seemed like.
We'll see what JP says.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know about that. Well, hold on, real quick on the Kyle Busch thing. I want to point this out because this is very important. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but Kyle Busch was driving the 07 truck, not the 7 truck. When we went to Atlanta, Kyle Busch was driving the 7 truck. Kyle Busch drove the 7 truck every other race this year. It was the 07 truck, which is the one that Michael McDowell sucked ass in at Atlanta. The 07 truck is not the same as the 7 truck. I don't know why, but it is not. It's not even close. That's the same one that Byron drove last weekend at Kansas. It is not as fast as the 7. It's just not. Sorry. I don't know if it's crew chief team. I don't know, but Hocevar obviously won in the 7. I mean, do we really think that Carson Hocevar is a better driver than William Byron if they're in equal equipment? I don't.
No.
Not yet, anyways. But all right, JP, your thoughts on the truck race and the OT restart finish? What'd you see?
And so here's my thing, right? Lane Riggs has been put in a position 2 weeks in a row where at the end of the race he has a chance to win. And if I was in that spot, I'm gonna do the same damn thing. I'm pushing that truck as hard as I can to pass the guy. And if you got to make a little contact, Rubbin's racing. I mean, to me, it looks like he might have got into him a little bit. But at the same time, it's racing. You got to do what you got to do. And, yeah, I mean, they're just getting too sensitive, I think, in all kinds.
Well, I mean, the big benefactor here, obviously, we hadn't really even said his name yet, but Chandler Smith
yeah,
obviously comes through the win.
And he won it.
You know, Chandler Smith, not the cleanest driver out there, for those of y'all that don't know, not the most talent. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it again right now just to refresh and make sure I'm not crazy, but I don't even think Riggs touched him. This is my take. My take is completely different. So you said Heim had the best truck. He did not have the best truck at the end of the race, I don't think. He didn't have tires, and if he did, he overdrove it. That was what I saw. He overdrove every turn on the restart because he was scared. And, you know, unfortunately, Corey Heim is turning into this guy where, like, we say he's got the fastest truck every week and he chokes. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yep.
And some guys just can't close the deal, and that's not just a racing thing. You see that in all other sports, football, baseball, basketball. Guys practice great and all this, run great, look good, but when the pressure gets to him, And to me, I saw Corey Heim choke. That's what I saw. And, you know, he's driving that number 11, just like Dennis Hamlin, who's also a natural-born choker.
Yeah.
So, you know, him and Denny's just – I don't know if y'all ever listened to Denny's podcast, but Denny is Corey Heim's biggest fangirl. And I just felt like this was a perfect representation of Denny Hamlin in Truck Series form. So, you know, I don't know. All I know is if you watch the replay, Corey Heim's truck was out of the rubber without being touched. That's because he was skilled.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, mommy, he gonna hit me." And guess what? Lane probably was gonna hit him. I don't care. Like he wasn't gonna wreck him. Nobody got wrecked. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody got wrecked. Nobody got dumped. Nobody got right hooked. This was like
It was racing.
I really felt like
racing.
Lane Riggs' truck was fast enough to get to the back of Corey Heim. Corey Heim got scared and he made a mistake. That's racing. Like that's what we're here to watch every week. Unfortunately for him, he screwed up, spun it out, got a really bad finish, didn't finish third. Hate that for Corey Heim. Again, good equipment, decent driver, good guy, whatever, all that stuff. I don't know. He drives Toyota. He ain't that good of a guy. And sorry, Denny. I don't know. I feel like he's a choker, and Chandler got past Riggs. You know, Lane obviously needs one. He got that penalty where he got DQ'd. Lane Riggs is a wheel man, and, you know, Chandler, if I'll tell you this, if Chandler Smith teammated or not to Lane Riggs, if Lane Riggs did not get loose because he also got scared, basically, if you look at it, he'd have got hit by his teammate because Chandler Smith don't give a damn. I'll tell you that right now. He don't care either. So, but when I go to a short track, whether that's Bristol, Martinsville, which I went to both those this year, didn't get to go to this one obviously, but that's what I want to see. Like, I'm there to see guys push and somebody either do that thing that you do when you're a winner and you drive it in deeper and make it stick, or choke, right?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it when we get to Cup race here in a minute. Logano did the same thing. I mean, Logano did a lot better because he held him off with no tires for a long time. But I don't know. I felt like it was a clean race. I didn't have any issues with anything that happened at the end of it. Anybody that was mad in the truck race, I felt like was just being a little silly. And I hope that when they go back and watch it, they're just like, hey, that was a good race. If you're a fan, that's what you bought your ticket to watch. So I thought the track was great. It was awesome to me that by the end of that truck race, they were up in that third lane. You know, unfortunately, it's going to race like Bristol, and they're not going to have cautions on a short track, just for the record. But I don't know. I thought it was a great race, and, you know, big time. But Corey Heim, I mean, it's like just kind of to talk on the 11s that like to choke, because that's what they do. Like how many races is that for him now this year? Is that 5,
That's a
6,
lot,
7?
yeah.
Like it's
Back-to-back
almost
weeks.
every week
Yeah.
at this point for Corey Haim.
Yep.
Couldn't happen to anybody nicer. If he get rid of that 11 off the door, I mean that. I don't think there's a 24 right now in trucks. So just maybe put a 24 on the side of it. You probably do better. Put a 5 on the side of it. I don't think there's 5 out there in trucks right now. I don't think.
No, isn't that the girl,
Maybe.
Tony Bredinger's
Oh
number?
yeah, never mind. Well, but don't even get me started on that. God have mercy.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to talk about Sports Illustrated this week. Yeah, we'll talk about that after. Anyways, I don't know. Really cool to see Mike Skinner out there at the race for the Truck Series. I love Mike Skinner. D-Watt, we used to watch Mike Skinner back in that 5 Toyota Tundra with the flames down the side of it all the time, Friday nights, right? We used to watch him Friday, Saturday nights. Whooping ass, particularly down there at Texas. I used to always love watching him. And it's cool to see him go to he did the command and everything with Window World. My former company that I used to work for that's based in Wilkesboro, I did not see any sponsors nowhere. It was great. I loved it. But yeah, we had a lot of good racing, modifieds, Cars Tour. Did y'all watch any Cars Tour?
The Cars Tour race start was pretty rough, but anybody in the Cars Tour that's not driving that KHI car that Rodney Childers is crew chiefing, I feel sorry for you.
That's what.
I mean, you're SOL for the rest of the season, buddy.
I saw Cars Tour posted like the video of Rodney Childers at Victory Lane all the ways off on the right side of that photo with Landon Lewis holding up his little 2. And I was like, oof, that's bad news. That car's going to be fast. It doesn't matter who drives it. So I think Kevin's driving a race in a couple weeks,
on
I
the
believe.
Podcast,
Yeah.
In 2 weeks he's going racing again.
So I'm sure Rodney will have him a piece too. And, we'll see what happens. I'm assuming he's going to drive a pro. Probably not a late model stock, but I don't know. I really have no idea. Keelan's been driving a pro, so I'm assuming he's going to be driving Keelan's car. But Keelan's also driving like a Rackley War car. It's kind of weird how that works out because then there's KHI, late model stocks. Maybe KHI doesn't build any supers, straight rail cars. That's you got the truck arm cars and straight rail cars. I don't know if they don't build those, but definitely interesting. I felt like Cars Tour races are good, but man, they are a little bit of a shit show. Can we at least admit the talent? I mean, it's kind of like, to me, and NASCAR don't want to hear this, but it's kind of the replacement for what ARCA used to be when ARCA was not just a joke. I feel like if I'm a NASCAR owner, I would rather have somebody that's doing good in the Car Store than doing good in an ARCA series at this point. Probably. But I don't know. They're good races. It's great to see them on TV. NASCAR, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to hear this, but you better watch out putting them in national primetime TV because you have that on a Saturday night or Friday night versus your Cup race at Bristol on a Sunday night. You don't want to know which one I'd be more likely to. I mean, I'd watch them both. I got multiple screens, but I don't know. If they ever make it and they get 3 names, that's all it'll take is 3 names. And if you don't think Dale Jr. and Kevin Harvick can pull 3 names, and Justin Marks, who has the money with Trackhouse too, can pull 3 names over there, I don't know. I worry about it for them. NASCAR's gonna have to figure it out. Did y'all see Brett Griffin's wonderful tweet?
No.
The ex-host of Door Bumper Clear.
No,
He said it. He said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I'm probably going to get in trouble, but NASCAR should really just buy some of these Car Store cars for the short tracks.
That's what I was telling old Pops when we were watching the Car Store race on Friday. I was like, why don't we just race these for the All-Star race?
They're loose momentum race cars. And hell, Byman put another 400 horse in them, get them up to 900, and let's see what we can do. You're going to have somebody make some tires because them Hooters ain't going to make it with 900 horsepower.
No chance.
I don't know, man. It was awesome to see all that and good to see Junior in the booth. Obviously, Junior's going to be back in the booth. Kind of wrap up that, I guess, when you go on to the Cup race.
Hey, I will say it was cool to see Jonathan Davenport show up on live TV for the Flow commercial on Fox.
Oh, yeah. Well, honestly, I'm just gonna say it. Nutrien is underusing Jonathan Davenport. The dude is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, they could have some. I don't really know what they need commercials for, to be honest with you. Because for those of you that don't know what Nutrien is, they're basically out here selling chemicals, fertilizers, and it's kind of like a co-op kind of thing. And it's a captive market. They bought it all up. It was Crop Production Services. It was Royster Clark back in the day, back where I'm from, my grandparents from. Back they used to call it Royster Clark. Then it got bought by CPS. If you look old enough, you'll find some Jonathan Davenport CPS.
Yep.
Cars back when he first started with Landers, back when we had the old white car with the blue pinstripes and all that. And Nutrien is big time brand, but he's hilarious, man. Like he's got a great personality, and always good to see them dirt guys. I'm just gonna throw this out there. When are we gonna get a live dirt late model race on TV?
Who knows?
Like
maybe having the cars tour is gonna open up a chance for some of these more, lower level series to have a chance like that, but you never know.
So, Flow and Dirt Vision both, I think, are really pushing the envelope on that. World Racing Group, obviously the owner of Dirt Vision, owns World Outlaws and all that, but I really think they're pushing it, and I think that the biggest thing they have to do, and I take this back to even like the days of the Prelude to the Dream, which Fox used to do pay-per-view for charity and all that, but the biggest thing for TV is you got to get in a tight window, right? You got to get it in there. And I think, to me, when I watched that even the Car Store race, and honestly even the All-Star race with the Open and everything, like between the Open and the All-Star race, you could run an entire dirt night in that same TV window, right? From like 5 to 9 or something like that. And really, you could cut that intro time out, and you could probably run it from 6 to 9. I think if you really want to run a super late model race from 6 to 9, you can do it now. I don't know if you can do it with 100 cars, though, which is what they'd have because they'd be paying out so much money. But I really think you're getting to a point where a race like the Show Me or World 100 or the Dream, if you're a Fox, if you're a CBS Sports, if you're an NBC Sports or whatever, like, I would think about picking it up. ESPN, even. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like we're getting to where we could put it in a 3-hour window, which is what they need, probably maximum for TV. And maybe they even, do qualifying off TV, right? But track prep, we don't do track prep as much as we did even, like, I was talking about this 3 years ago. Like, we don't do, when was the last time y'all saw track prep in Tennessee at a racetrack? Never? I mean, seriously.
Couldn't really tell you.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. And even these, national races, like, even Eldora, if they do it quick. They got enough equipment, guys out there, they knock it out in 30 minutes, right? So,
yeah, they got them brand new F-250 Platinums they drive around.
God, that made me sick. F-350 Platinum. Pulling a mud roller with probably 40 miles on the truck, probably $150,000 truck. So if anybody's looking for one, go find a dealership up there. It's a what do they call those, demo model? It probably couldn't pass inspection, but I'm sure Tony Stewart was beating on it. They probably give Tony a Sharpie, tell him to sign the dash. That probably adds 10 grand.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'm just curious. I think we can get to that. But all right, moving on. Cup race. Did you watch the heat races?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I watched those. I don't have a lot to say about them, but I picked Bowman to win the Open or to win the race in general. So I was kind of keeping an eye on him in the first heat. I believe he was in the first one. But all in all, I don't have a lot to vent. I watched it, but I don't have a lot to give on it.
So, like, I went today and looked for highlights of the heats because I didn't get to watch it. I was out. But they aren't on YouTube, and there's nobody talked about them on the internet, so apparently they were just a joke. That's basically what I'm taking it as.
It wasn't much. I don't have much to say with any kind of wreck. I think the second heat, Briscoe got spun, something like that in the second heat, but nothing too crazy on my end that I saw. That
I guess my comment on the heat things, if they don't matter, this is what you need to do. Nobody wants to hear this, but run 4. I know that NASCAR is not. They're like halfway trying to run heat race. If you're going to run heat races, run 4, and then you got 2 options. You can either redraw or you can put them on the wheel. I think I've had this discussion. I don't know that D-Watt's been a part of it, but the redraw for World Outlaws, it hurts me. The more I look at it, the more I like it, because especially for the top 4. I don't really care about the 8, but when you do the top 4 redraw to set up your thing, it just evens it out. But, I mean, I think, make it count, because then one position in your heat is worth 4, not worth 2. and that's 2 rows versus 1 row, right? So I think it matters a lot more. Make them matter, I guess.
I felt like the heats didn't really matter.
Yeah.
I feel like there wasn't anything to gain. I mean, off the game because that's where you start is where you finish. But for the rows, but I don't know. I feel like I thought there was 4 at first, but then I realized real quick there's only 2 heats, and then have something to redraw. Have something. They gotta have something because really it's on TV. It was during the day, so I don't know who all. I guess their TV window they chose the afternoon. But I don't know. I feel like they can do better. If you're gonna do heats,
make them count.
Make them count. They're just riding around and nothing was even going on. So
I agree
how that went with the views and whatnot. But.
Even crazier, take your winners, let them draw.
Yeah.
And then let whoever wins heat 1, second place, flip an invert wheel and find out what happens. Then you'll see who wants to race for that front row of that heat race. I mean, I'm just telling you, I'm all about an invert in these all-star races. Look, the all-star races are supposed to be gimmicky, so let's make them gimmicky. But obviously, like I said, I didn't see the heat. So, all right, moving on. Went to the Open. 18 cars started the Open, I think. We had 20 feature. What y'all got? We didn't do stages in the Open, which I like this year. We just took first, second, and the fan vote. Y'all like that?
Yeah, it's definitely.
I did.
I'm like, I wish we could go back to not like throwing cautions at stages. Man, it makes racing more racing. In my opinion.
Yeah,
that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's butthole stinks though.
Yeah.
Except mine.
Yeah.
I'm like Kim Jong-un. Mine, I don't poop.
Yeah.
I learned that in the interview.
I thought the Open was all right. It was the first 50 laps was led by Shane. He took off. The 88 car was gone. I guess all these guys in this Open are just kind of mid. Not all of them, but a good portion of them are some mid-packers to the back. So it was pretty caution-free, I think, until the 71 wrecked the 35, and then it was getting pretty aggressive there towards the end with the 43 and the 23.
Yeah.
Those 2 guys were getting at it. I'm not like a Bubba fan, so I didn't mind seeing him get knocked out of there. But I was fine. I thought Carson was getting pretty aggressive there with his teammate. I thought with the contact they made early on, I'm not sure if it was in the first 50 or not, but I thought Carson was going to have a flat tire. But I'm just a fan. I don't know a lot about these cars, but they're pretty tough. It seemed like this year. So all in all, it was good to see those guys lean on each other and not take anybody out too much. And there towards the end, it was just a whole lot of take, not much give. Not a lot of door slamming, but there was a lot of contact there towards the end. But all in all, I watched all the laps, and I thought it was pretty good. I was glad to see the fan vote go to the 4 car. Like a sponsor, and I think it's good with the fans. I think he takes time to sign autographs. I think he takes time to do the interviews, and he connects well with the fans. And he just like online with, I'm sure he does some of the iRacing maybe, and some of the Instagram he does. He connects well with the fans, so it was good to see him win. I think for the 3rd straight year he got the fan vote.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, he's definitely, like I've said about Hocevar and him too, he's got personality, and a lot of these drivers just lack that these days.
Yeah. Well, I was, obviously a fan of that as well with Noah. I've been a fan of his for a long time. But as far as the 77 winning, I think I probably should have picked that for one of my picks because I think I said on here that was it, but my picks were all Larson related, so I went over. Because he sucked for like an entire week. I was really hoping he gets in a sprint car like tomorrow or something, try to fix this shit. But I don't know. Anyways, 77 wins over 42 of what's 42? It's Eric Jones.
Yeah,
I think Eric Jones.
Eric Jones. Yeah.
And I don't know. Ryan Preece gets absolutely screwed. So we have this caution. First of all, I want to say this. I didn't really like the halfway caution in the Open. Just run the 100 laps, be done with it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of screwy in my opinion. But anyways, we have a caution later. Ryan Preece pretty much dominated this race, right? Like he's pretty quick and was going to get. I mean, him and Hocevar were going to be 1 and 2 anyways, and he's probably going to get in. He's running second, runs over the choose cone. I mean, the choose
right
box,
over the middle of it. Yeah,
like right over dead center, and like obviously, like you look like an absolute idiot doing something like that. But he said he couldn't see it. And then, like, NASCAR, in my opinion, acted like a bunch of idiots. Went out and repainted it because they felt like he couldn't see it after they penalized him. And I'm like, bruh, what do we like? That's tough. Like when you when you penalize the guy and then you go out and paint it, like you're basically saying we screwed you. Deal with it. And he's pretty hot. Did y'all see him go take the cone out on the pit road wall and all that?
I saw his interview, and then I saw him taking the cone out.
Man, here's the thing, right? Yeah, you might not have been able to see it super well from the car. But then you got to realize there's also markers on the fence. You have a damn spotter standing on a roof. Yeah. He ought to be able to tell you when it's at. And I understand there was a lot of rubber down, and it could have been hard. Yep. But still, you can't run it over. And if NASCAR wants to, make sure that doesn't happen again, why don't we bring back the drone from Bristol?
Oh, God, don't you start your bullshit with me today.
Just saying.
I'm not against having something out there. Here's what I want to say. This is an all-star race, and unfortunately for Ryan Preece, and I like the guy a lot. I really do. But we talked about Corey Haim, a little bit of a choker. Ryan Preece has a little bit of choker in him. I hate to say that, but he's a really good modified racer, but even in modifieds, he don't win a lot. He's real good at finishing second and third. This is an all-star race. All-stars don't run over the choose box. They don't do that. The team doesn't let it happen. The driver don't do it. Like, that's not a thing. And that's one of those things that, like, if you're an all-star, your spotter says, hey, you can't see this box. Do not do this when this race starts, right? Like, I would, I listen to Door Bumper Clear or whatever. I bet money TJ Majors told Brad Keselowski if he saw that. Hey, you can't see this box. Do not run over it, whatever you do. Yeah. Do not.
It went way down, and then he just came back up and hit it.
He really didn't know what he was going to do is what it comes down to. He didn't make a decision, and he wasn't taking it serious. And, like, it's a tough thing. And, I'm as far as what JP said, if we're really going to do this choose thing, put a cone out there. They can put a cone out there. All you got to do is take somebody in a chase truck. We learned on Hauler Talk that those, chase F-150s can run up to 103 miles an hour. So you just have them go stand out there, park the thing down in the infield like they are whenever cars pass them, whenever they're doing cleanup. Put the cone out there, and once everybody passes, take the cone back. It's not that complicated. You don't have to do anything like you do at the Chili Bowl where it's on a rope or any of these other dirt tracks where you try to hold sprint cars up so they're not down. Like, you don't have to put this thing on a rope, right? Like, it's not going to be out there when the track is hot, right? And it is another thing that, like, guys are going to have to watch for coming up to speed. But I really think if we're going to do the choose cone rule, put the choose cone out there. You made yourselves look like idiots, pretty much, in my opinion. The drone thing, you can do it if you want. It looks stupid.
It does look stupid.
It looks so stupid. Just put the cone out there. Here's the other thing. It's a great sponsorship opportunity. You get the Andy's frozen custard.
Make it an ice cream cone.
Yeah, we saw that somewhere for a dirt race somewhere. I saw that somewhere. I don't remember where, but do it. Also want to talk about the fact Flow Racing went back that choose cone on dirt. I want to see that in dirt more, just for the record. And I want to quit putting the guy that's in the lead out on the front. I want to go to a true double file restart in dirt racing. That's a whole nother story. But anyways, I don't know, man. Like, I feel bad for Preece, obviously getting screwed, but it is what it is. Other than that, all right, we going into the main race.
Yeah.
I do want to know. Do you want an actual cone on the track, or do you think that Preece just needs to quit being a woman and figure it out?
Yeah, just quit being a woman.
That's what I
that's fair. It was a Tony Breidinger mistake.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Man, I'm on one today with some comments. Hey.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's the one that ran the damn thing.
Yeah, and I'll give this is where I will give Preece credit. He was pissed and he put the cone out there and all that. But he did say on pit road, he did say, "Look, a rule's a rule. I hit it." We're going to talk about some more whiners. Apparently, guys at Wine drive Fords. So I don't know if there's two guys on this podcast who drive Fords, and I damn sure ain't one of them. So we're going to talk about.
We're talking about Ford race cars, not Ford cars.
Hey, listen, an Escape is a race car. My God, okay.
Yeah, 1.3 cylinders of power, baby. Let's go.
Anyways, all right. Feature starts. Lap 100 caution. Joey's in the lead. All right, pretty much these guys. I felt to me like they're pretty much riding until that first deal. Was there? Well, I think there was another call. There was a caution before that. 19 got spun or something. Right, Briscoe maybe got spun. Something happened. I don't know. I was making ribs. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Someone's got to fill us in here till lap 100. You see my notes? They start at lap 100. I was stuffing my face with some pork ribs, and they were delicious. Okay. Anyways, Joey Logano, I basically put in here as wins. He won the first stage, essentially, is what it comes down to. They didn't call it a stage because you can't have a stage in a race. It only matters where you finish at the end. But big time, Christopher Bell comes out, takes the lead on pit road. And this is where the race really starts to me, right? Like,
Yep.
On the restart, Bell took the lead. And, Logano ends up running him back down, taking lead back. Gets away from it. We get to the lap. We have that long run. Ross Chastain. What happened there with that whole 2-car? Like, I want to talk about 2-car because I'm gonna need the Penske fan on this to come out and make some kind of bullshit excuse for Austin Cindric because I've about decided he needs to get parked. Like, I just don't think he can drive.
Yeah. No, he's not that good. And from what I saw, the one was up by the wall. Is that right? And then next thing I know, I looked up and he got turned around. Oh, yeah.
It was like he was under him. So they had there was 2 3-wides. There was a 3-wide with was it the 51? And it was Cindric and Chastain and somebody else, Barry, and then somehow Cindric drives into Barry there because it's like, and he had room down to Chastain. Chastain left 2 lanes, but he didn't or whatever. And they end up 3-wide again, and basically both times they were 3-wide. Chastain just Cindric just refuses to lift. Like, he's like, And I know that part of it is he's around Ross Chastain. He's just like, I'm not giving him an inch. I get it, because that's how Ross is, right? But, like, bro, what are you doing? So, anyways, Chastain ends up spinning. Sexiest car in the race. I just want to point that out.
I like it. Yeah.
That Busch Light.
It did look good.
We're going to see the Apple machine starting, I think, this weekend.
Oh.
So I'm gonna have to update my Kevin Harvick gear to the Ross Chastain gear, on the Busch Light Apple. But yeah, so definitely sexy car. He ends up getting spun. He's just kind of pissed. But I feel like we keep having these issues with Cindric where he just makes some low IQ racing moves, kind of. Yeah. I know that's bold coming from me sitting in a garage running my mouth on Monday night at 8:30.
I don't know, man. Do y'all remember what he did at Coda to Ty Dillon?
Yeah.
I mean, he straight just right hooked him.
Yeah.
For no reason.
So I guess my question about the 2-car, I know this is an all-star race and all this crap, but what is his life expectancy at Penske at this point? Is it long? Is it short? They don't really have a pipeline per se. There's some Ford drivers, I guess, coming through the ranks. Does Josh Berry move over there?
It's as long as Daddy's working there.
Yeah. I would thought he'd have a long, a long time there. I thought he'd be there for years and years. But unless we know something unless there's something going on we don't know. Yeah,
you make the comment about Daddy. Well, I mean, I'll tell you right now, Daddy got his ass chewed by Roger Penske at that qualifying. I guarantee you, Daddy got his ass chewed. Just for the record. He's already stepped down, I think, from competition director. He's already down a step there, and I just wonder how much longer all that's going to last. And if he doesn't do something, they got to get somebody in there. I just don't feel like Cindric has a sellable personality. Yeah. His sponsors are pretty bland. It's nothing personal against Freightliner, but how hard is it to sell a semi? It's not that hard. And the only reason they're on the trucks is, I'm sure, I'm just going to say it, but if you look at all the Penske haulers, probably all Freightliners. Yeah. So. And Penske obviously has a rental company. They probably sell a lot of Freightliners to them. It's they don't. It's not that they even want to spend the money. Yeah. It's that Roger's like, hey, so Kenworth called, and they're like, oh no, here's the money. That kind of thing. That's just the backdoor deals that happen in the sport, right? But I don't know. If he can't get it together, I don't know that the two's going to be around that long. I don't know who the replacement will be. I really don't. But conspiracy theory.
Oh,
Josh Berry. Oh no. You also could have the possibility of sorry, I had a whole list of these. Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick. Listen, here's the thing. I really think that I didn't want to get this podcast. We're getting deep in here, but I really think that 2311 in front row are about to lose their whole thing, right? And just think about this: if they lose that, then Reddick's out of contract, Bubba's out of contract, Riley Herbst is out of contract. Where are they all going to go? Because they're not. Are they going to sit there and run an open car? I think Bubba will stay. I think Bubba's going to stay because Bubba's not going to have anywhere to go, if you really want to know.
Yeah.
I think his road, this is his third team or whatever, and, like, I just don't know how much he's got left. But Tyler Reddick, I think somebody pick him up. I feel like he's underperformed, at 2311, but their cars just clearly aren't where they were maybe even last year. So, I don't know. That's kind of my conspiracy theory is Tyler Reddick to Ford to make the complete trifecta. There you go. All right, you heard it here first, folks. Just go ahead. We'll go ahead and we'll make a clip for TikTok and see if we can get famous Tyler Reddick to replace Austin Cindric. It'll be like one of those fake AI posts we see every day. All right, I'm talking too much. Lap 30, Larson gets up to 8th. Larson's like making this run through the field, looking like he's going to do something. They have a yellow lap 176 because Brad K blows a tire. Larson comes in, takes the lead, and I was glad to see him up there, but then for like the spirit of racing, I was like, I really hope this 2 tires doesn't work. If this 2 tires works, this is not what I want to see in my dirt race or in my racing. So ends up getting passed by 22 on the restart, and Larson dropped kind of like a rock, ends up hitting the wall, breaking a toe link. We have this goofy-ass caution, which I could rant and rave about. Y'all, I'll let y'all handle it. Anybody want to talk about Michael Waltrip's?
You can't drop the fucking flag. God damn. Really? They need to fire his ass. That is exactly what Pop said. It's exactly what the dad said, He said they need to fire his ass.
Well, to be fair, he doesn't know that that's what he was told to do, and then he did it on purpose. Probably he probably wasn't able to tell that's what happened, but that's what happened. Do you want how did you feel about it?
When I was watching it, he was all up there pointing to the crowd and had his hat on backwards, had some old jacket on, and it all made sense.
So stupid.
I mean, if you're a Joey fan, you're gonna wish it would have stayed green. But I don't know. I'll tell you different.
Right. I'd have paid $1,000 for Chipper Jones to drop that caution flag. I'd have paid good money for that. Yeah, it was the dumbest thing ever that he came up. For one. For two, the fact that he came up there and then was like saying how many laps it's going to be to the crowd. I was like, why? Like, and then, Boyer, I don't know if y'all caught this in the broadcast, but Boyer kind of made a slip that, this was all planned. Mike Joy had already said that there was going to be, he said, I bet there'll be fireworks at that caution. He was trying to imply that it'd be like on the track or in the pits, but obviously it's off the fireworks. Mikey comes up and he does a terrible, and it wasn't even close, fake flag drop. Like, he just miraculously dropped it right as the last car's going past the flag stand. Like, I mean, right. So dumb. He should have hit Logano is what he should have done. He should have just thrown it on Logano's car if he's going to drop it, first of all. Second of all, like, it was just stupid. They all knew when it was going to be. They had clearly discussed it. I'm actually a fan of the caution. We have to figure out a way somehow for that to be like a fan vote or like draw somebody's name out of the hat. It's in the grandstands and let them throw it or not throw it. And then I want them up there like with their Joey Logano shirt on or their Kyle Larson shirt. Because I'll tell you, the fan can make a difference. It's an all-star race, so it's a joke anyway. So, like, whatever you want to do is fine. But, like, I was thinking this. So, Larson takes the lead, right? He was running, like, second or third. I'd have thrown that 10 laps into that run. He comes in and gets 4. If everybody else comes and gets 4, he's still got 30 laps to work with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hated it. It was too late. I really wanted it to be earlier. I was really hoping for a 50-lap run to end it. Clearly that didn't happen. Anyways, so we pit after that one, lap 215, 216. The caution was probably going to come out either way.
Yeah.
Because Larson hit the wall probably. He was probably going to wreck if it didn't come out. Did y'all notice that was the fastest caution NASCAR's run in their entire, like, last 3 years?
Oh, really?
Like, they were come back from TV, and it was going to green.
Oh.
It was, like, started when they came back from TV. They only ran, like, 3 laps under caution or something. And, I think that they wanted it to be more like a 30-lap run. I think they felt like 20 was too short like I did. But, anyways, Logano, big-time call, Paul Wolf.
Yeah. I
2
would
tires.
have pitted, yeah.
He stayed out, I guess.
He stayed out. And then him and Blaney stayed out. And was there one more maybe? but when all like it was the last
There was like
second
5.
decision. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Osavar,
Yeah.
Harrison Burton
So-
stayed out in the 51, and Chastain stayed out. There's
Okay.
5 cars stayed out. Yeah.
They all kind of swerved at the last second. They were all playing that little silly game, coming to the
Yeah.
line there. I thought coming to pit road was probably the smart decision if it all come down to if or when or whatever, but he just couldn't get far enough out after that restart. Joey couldn't. But yeah, all in all, come get your 2 tires and go out there and win it. And that's what he did.
Yeah. So I felt like if I was in Paul Wolf's shoes, I think I stay out there. And I know that like it clearly didn't work. I still think like going back thinking about it though, from his perspective, I still would have done it. Because I think if he stays out or if he goes in, I think everybody stays out behind him.
That's true.
It's back to that, and this is what I do like, and this is the hope for NASCAR, right? And this is what we see in North Wilkesboro. And you said something about it being the best track on the circuit, and we're going to get to that when we get done. But do you remember the old adage that we used to hear all the time on pit road? Monkey see, monkey don't do. Do you remember that? Not monkey see, monkey do, but monkey see, monkey don't do. We haven't heard that in a long time because tires have been irrelevant. And clearly the tires were relevant enough, and it was only on what, like a 30 lap. Those are 30 lap old tires, basically 40 lap old tires for the 22. That's really not that much at, a half-mile track, like 5/8, whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't know. So I was really excited for that to matter. So when it came out, when those guys stayed out, I was like, we're about to find out if tires matter or not. I think these tires were the reds that they're supposed to run at Phoenix, and at some of these other short tracks going forwards over the year. And so I was definitely excited for like that tire battle, like going into that last run. Excited to see what happens. Joey, you ain't got none of that Joey Logano crap hanging up behind you back there, do you? I see a 21, not a 22.
No,
There's
yeah,
a 12 up
it.
there, and a 21 over here. All right, so let me tell you.
Yeah.
This is, we're about to get in my I could go 30 minutes on this part. We're already an hour and a half. So,
Oh, Lord.
Joey ends up blocking his absolute.
Yeah.
Did it surprise anybody?
No.
No, I thought he did a good job blocking. Didn't surprise me. I think he's gotten better over the last little bit of racing clean.
I ain't racing.
Or
No.
blocking.
I ain't racing. We're blocking. That's
Blocking.
that's okay.
So,
Yeah, just
anyway.
be sure.
Yeah. No, it was. I wasn't surprised, and he made his car as wide as possible.
Yeah. If anybody was going to hold him off, it was going to be
Yeah.
Joey, right, JP?
Mm-hmm.
I was, Bell's a lot nicer than me, personally.
Yeah.
He was being nice.
I'd have just wrecked his ass when I got
Yeah.
next to him. Because unfortunately, knowing how Joey is, and, obviously he bitched about it after the race, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But, they'll hit him, bumped him in the back, square 4 times. And Joey, with these new cars, man, he just slows down. He can't get around him, but they stick. They don't really move. He hit him that one time 4 times going down the corner and didn't move him. And I was like, well, that ain't going to work. And then Bell is on it. He's up there driving around the high side, gets outside of him. I really thought at one point Joey's just going to run him in the wall. And if he did that, it was going to be a riot.
Yeah.
Probably. And I was going to be leading it with a pitchfork and a torch. So I was glad to see Bell get it done. I thought he did it as clean as he could. He basically went in there and Joey's like, I can't believe he released the brake on me. Joey's like, oh my God, it's NASCAR. I got passed for $1 million.
Short track racing.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Thank you. That's perfect. Remember when it used to be short track racing. Now
Now
it's whatever.
everybody's
But,
got their panties
like-
on wide.
I don't know. I thought Joey did a better. I thought he held on for longer than he could, given the situation he was in. It took Bell exactly 2 laps to get to second. Through the losers that also stayed out, including Ryan Blaney, who just went straight to the back.
It was bad.
He just needs to probably hang it up. He's so slow. Harrison Burton probably held on better than Ryan Blaney did. Sorry, D1. But I don't know, man. So they go out there. Bell hits the 4 on pit road. We didn't talk about that. He hit the 4 on pit road during all that. But anyways, Bell ends up getting past Logano. He really just, he got his nose ahead and he let the car roll up, and Joey just had to run out to the fence and eventually had to lift and got up in the gray and He lost. And he said, if I would have got back to him, I would have wrecked him.
Oh, yeah. When I heard that, I was like, here we go.
And I was like, well, the good news is you weren't fast enough because
Yeah.
you didn't have tires. We didn't have to worry about any of that crap. And, I felt like, Joey's I had flashbacks to Martinsville for some reason whenever he said that. And his attitude and, he bitched so hard about Kenseth taking him out, but he got mad that he got passed. I don't think you can make a cleaner pass than that in this car at that track, really. You're just not going to. And, Bell could have wrecked him. Bell could have spun him, all this stuff. And, maybe he should have looking back on it. But Joey gets past, cries about it, didn't wreck him. Get out. Bell does a great burnout.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 on the burnout. I'm not going for a 10 out of 10, but 9 out of 10. Pretty good burnout. Gets the win. Gives the crew guys a high five. Wife comes out there on the track. And I'm like, you know what? I think he's going to be the champion. But we'll talk about it next week because we're getting late in the show. So I don't know. It was and then Joey, I mean, D-Watt, if you want to renounce your Joey fandom, now it's probably your time.
No, not me.
He comes out of the car and he's like, I can't believe this stupid bullshit costume. And I can't
Marcus
believe we
Smith
had this.
are going to have a long conversation.
Yeah. Marcus Smith would beat him into a pulp. Marcus Smith would hand his suit off to Dale Jr. and beat his ass in the concrete. Just for the record, Marcus Smith is triple man Joey Logano ever will be.
Oh, yeah.
They had Joey Logano doing burnouts with his wife on that Netflix show in like a 3-wheeler trike from 1902 or some bullshit. Like, Joey Logano is such an absolute piece of turd that, like, Delane Harvick could still whoop his ass. I just want that to be known. And she don't need a fire suit. So, like, I'm just saying, anytime Joey's pissed, I'm happy. But, like, what is he complaining about? I felt like it was a perfectly clean move. They're adjusting with their interview at Bell, and they're like, yeah, Joey was upset. And he's like, for what?
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing he wouldn't do.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like Joey, it's one of those things like you play the blocking game, you lose, don't be mad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it is what it is. It sucks. You didn't have the better tires, and the tires mattered. Sorry, Joey, the tires mattered for the first time in
20
is this the first time tires have mattered in 3 years? Because it literally feels like it's the first time tires matter in 3 years. So, when you look at that part of it, Paul Wolf probably made the right call. But I don't know. It is what it is. I was so happy Joey was mad, and he's like, "They threw that damn caution, bruh." They announced that they were throwing that caution 4 weeks ago, right? I mean, like, what are we?
Yeah.
Like, are you surprised they threw the caution? And, I got thinking about it, and nobody wants to hear this, but maybe you didn't want to be leading. And guess what?
Yeah.
That caution, this is where we're going to have to really watch this. But that caution did affect the outcome of that race, for one. And NASCAR knows it did, and NASCAR got the finish they wanted. Everybody said what D-Watt just said a little while ago. This is the best short track that we've been to in the next-gen car. Well, it really wasn't. There was a screwy caution that led to some kind of screwy strategy that led to a good finish, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the racing really wasn't that great. Logano led a lot of laps. And he said he had the fastest car. I still don't know that he had the fastest car. He had the cleanest track. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And he drove past Larson and all that, but Larson only had 2 tires. And he drove past whoever it was early in the race, Keselowski, but we all know Keselowski's car had tire pressure issues because he blew another tire. They're clearly pushing that harder than anybody else right now. I don't know. I mean, Logano, I hate it for him, but, it just made my day to see him lose. So congratulations, Christopher Bell. Anybody want to take a pick for a championship other than Christopher Bell? Does anybody think Christopher Bell's going to win the championship? Was that enough?
I don't know.
He'll be in the final 4. And
He'll probably be in the final 4. I don't remember who I picked, but I don't think I picked Bell.
Who won at Phoenix first go round? Just remember that.
Man, just because you win it early on doesn't mean you're going to win it later.
I don't know. There's this thing about Bell right now. Matt Weaver posted this video, and if you guys follow my personal X, you'd see it as Casper007. He basically, it was like they were telling Bell about Logano being upset in the media center, and I see Christopher give this very solid, no nonsense, no fluff, not arguing, just spitting it how he sees it, like confident, like I don't know why he's mad. I didn't do anything. it is what it is. I saw Christopher Bell is excited to win the race. I've seen an aggression out of him we haven't seen. I feel like he's as happy as he's ever been in his Joe Gibbs career. He's back running his dirt car when he wants to a little bit here and there, and like I feel like he's back in charge of his life. The confidence matters.
Yeah.
And he's going to be tough to beat. I'll just say. I don't know that he'll win the championship, but he's going to be tough to beat. Y'all better watch out if you don't think he's going to be. And that's coming from me who thought, if he didn't have a good year, he might not have a job next year. So we'll see what happens there. But I don't know. Did y'all like the All-Star race?
I did. I think that we need to make North Wilkesboro a points-paying race in June, starting at 12 a.m. on the hottest day of the year with the softest tire we race in.
As in noon. I get what you're saying. I'm impressed how fast that track's weathering. Do we want it to stay the All-Star race? That's the first question I'm going to ask.
No. I think they should move the All-Star race around like they do the championship starting next year. Move it around. Why not?
Daniel, D-Walk?
Yeah, I'd say give it a points race, which they were pushing it pretty hard there towards the end, I felt like, with some of the interviews on track and probably afterwards. I'd say give it an afternoon, a 400-lap points-paying race. I think they could handle a points-paying race there. So it's been good 3 years. I'd say, like JP said, move it around. It's been here. I'll keep it there for 2 years and then go somewhere else. 2-3 years, and let it flip. But as a track, I'd like to see. It's kind of tricky because the track's got to have lights and it's got to be owned by SMI. So if you wanted to go, I like a Dover, but it ain't got no lights. It'd be something unique and different. A Nashville Fairgrounds would be kind of cool, which they own it now. I ain't heard much out of them in a while, but it's tricky on where to go because they tried Bristol. I didn't think it went all that great. So
it went great. Chase won. It was fantastic. Best All-Star race we've ever had. That Underglow was sexy.
Whatever.
So here's my opinion. A little bit different take. And this, you point out it's got to be SMI. Well, what about this? We just announced, and I think we're going to see this probably happen here when we really get this rotation. We announced that the rotation for the championship series, well, guess what? Those have always been NASCAR owned tracks. So what if when we say we're going to send the championship race to an SMI track, and then we send the All-Star race to a NASCAR track? So we could have an All-Star race at Martinsville, an All-Star race at Darlington, or we could have an All-Star race wherever. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's how they kind of make that flip back and forth on the All-Star versus the championship. Because I really think if you really want to honor this rotation, unfortunately you have to take the championship to an SMI track at some point. I feel like if you honestly think in the next 3 years of that rotation you're not going to go to Charlotte or Vegas, then you're on crack. I mean, those are probably, in the current state of the car, probably the best tracks to go to. Now, Wilkesboro race. This is what I want to see. 4th of July.
There you go.
Race. That's what I want to see. It'd be hot to go to. But I guess if you do 4th of July, you could probably do it after dark because the track's going to be still 120 degrees, and it would be fun. I think that'd be a great, kind of throwback 4th of July weekend kind of race. Nobody wants to hear it, but I'd be okay to give up Bristol spring race for Wilkesboro. I feel like we probably would go if they did that. Like, it's not any farther really for us, so I'd be okay with it. A lot of people say no. I don't want to go anywhere twice. I've been a pretty big advocate of that. And Bristol, the one point I will give, to think about, Bianchi pointed out on the teardown, which y'all hadn't listened to, but like we talked about this on the way home from Bristol, but like a quarter of Bristol is still more seats than a lot of racetracks sell.
Yeah.
Like Bristol can be a quarter, 3/4 empty, and that's still 40,000-50,000 people. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it, but I want to see the All-Star race move. I think if you leave it in North Wilkesboro next year, it gets stagnant. So I think it's time to move it wherever you want it to go. That's my opinion. But I think Wilkesboro deserves a points race. And, this is a real crazy one. Championship? Maybe?
It'd be a good race.
I don't know. I don't know that you can go North Wilkesboro in November. It could be snowing.
Yeah.
But they say Charlotte's average is 57. It ain't that far from Charlotte. So it could be a problem, but I mean, I'd be okay seeing a championship on a short track like that, personally. So we'll see what happens. But other than that, this is a long podcast, simply probably the longest one we've ever had. Congratulations to y'all on that one. Quick picks. We all suck. D-Watt won with 50. The 5th place finish for Alex Bowman.
Okay.
I believe was the best pick
I was
of the
surprised
weekend.
he ran pretty well. I was surprised. I thought I picked him. I was like, oh, boy, is he really going to run any good? But he did. He ran pretty good.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. We'll try to knock 3 out real quick.
Oh, I already got my 3.
Okay. Well, go ahead and go then. Let's let you get your 3 in.
Number
so
one.
You won't tie.
Number 1 for the Indy 500, we'll take Alex Palou. Then,
Pops be proud.
and for the Coke 600, we're going to take Ryan Blaney.
You're an idiot.
And then for my 3rd and final pick will be Cleater to get a top 10 at Charlotte in the Arthur race.
No, we're picking wins here. Sorry.
I'll take him to win.
Oh, okay. Big time. D-Watt, you need a minute? You want me to go? Are you ready?
I'll go ahead and I think we'll go and give 3. Scott Dixon to win the Indy 500. You took my Ryan Blaney for... so I'll go with Denny Hamlin to win the Cup.
Oh, Lord.
And then, let's see here. We got... go ahead and come back to me for the last one. I got to figure who's going to run these.
I'm going to go for the Indy 500. I'm going to go with Pato O'Ward for the Indy 500. I don't know. That's just the feeling I got watching qualifying. He was pretty quick in qualifying. I think he's raced there very well last few years, so we'll see what happens there. 600, go ahead and give me Larson for the 600. Larson won't win the 500, though. I hope he finishes the race, but I really am doubting that at this point. I'm wearing my Hendrick 1100 shirt, but I just don't know that he's going to finish, kind of. But we'll see what happens. My 3rd pick, I'm going to go Show Me 100. I kind of want to go Corey Heim to win the truck race at Charlotte, but I'm going to go Show Me 100, and I'm going to take the 49 Jonathan Davenport.
All right. I'll go Show Me as well, but I'll go Devin Moran to get the
That's
win.
a good pick. I feel like I don't think that's a Thornton track. I think it's too flat for Ricky Thornton to really hold on. And just kind of, I mean, Moran, Davenport's going to be up there. I think O'Neal will be up there. He's really got his stuff together, too, just for the show me. But we'll see. Other than that, lots of racing to watch this weekend. Very, 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 very busy weekend. I will text y'all, not tonight because it's 9 o'clock, but tomorrow I'm going to try to put some stuff together for who's going to watch what, who's going to cover what on the podcast. And then we'll let whoever that is do the summary, and we'll just kind of wrap it up from there. But thank y'all for making it a super long episode. I'm so pumped for this weekend. I don't know if y'all know. This whole Indy 500 thing, 300,000 people. We hadn't even talked about the fact I'm going to get to go boo Dansby Swanson for like 9 whole innings in Cincinnati. We're not having Skyline chili because that stuff's disgusting. But Pop said he didn't want it, so I was fine with that. We'll see what happens. It's only 3.5 hours from here to Cincinnati. I thought it was farther than that. It's really not. So, JP, I might see you Thursday, Wednesday. I don't know. I'm probably coming down there to get pops. So, we'll see what works out there. And I don't know what we're doing next week, but we'll see. Hopefully, I'm home in time to record a podcast because we're driving home Monday. We are staying. So, just so everybody knows, we're going to Indy 500. We're going to watch the race. We're going to go back to the hotel and then watch the 600 because we're trying to watch the double. Thankfully, Trump is not coming to Indy 500, so Larson's going to be able to make the double. The weather's looking good. We're going to hope it holds out for that, and just hope that he beats Tony Stewart 6th and 3rd. That is basically what we're hoping for. I don't think running 1,100 miles is a problem. I just don't know that he cannot wreck it Indy because his car's been terrible. But that was on qualifying trim, not in race trim. Clearly, it's going to be different. So we'll see what he can do. Hopefully, it works out. I'll let y'all know. We'll have a big review on the Indy 500. It's probably another 3-hour podcast, so... we'll see how many clips we got. Y'all go follow these two fine gentlemen on their TikTok accounts. D-Watt, what's yours again?
D-Watt 4912.
Yeah, that bullshit 12. God, get rid of that. JP has it's JP78 underscore 78, but he's trying to pretend he doesn't want to be famous. D-Watt will be out there beating the streets for us, thankfully. And I think we're going to keep this 3-wide format. We're going to have to figure out how to get it under 2 hours, but we'll get there. So other than that, this was like so much racing this weekend. Thank y'all for listening. It was a good one. Let me find the button. Anybody got anything for the road?
No, not really.
No.
I mean, nothing.
Wow.
Nobody's going to tell me to behave at the Indy 500. Should I go to the Snake Pit and get sunburnt?
Oh, yeah.
Quick question. What time should we get to Indy 500? The race is at like 12. Coverage starts
no
at
clue.
10. What time do you think we should get there?
Probably early, because there's going to be a shitload of people.
Like 8:39.
And then also, am I allowed to wear the Larson shirt, or since we qualified 21st, do I need to just wear a regular T-shirt?
You think you're going to be the only one wearing a Larson shirt there?
No, I would assume that 100,000 out of... This is an interesting stat I saw, and I meant to throw this in here. 1 out of 1,100 people in the U.S. will be attending the Indy 500. That's pretty good when you think about that. I've never been to anything with 300,000 people, I don't think, in my life.
It's the
That's
biggest
a lot of people.
single-day event.
In America, I guess.
Yeah, I guess in America.
I mean, that's...
biggest race in the U.S., in the world.
I think they said 350,000 between the seats and the infield and people outside. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we can get around, find somewhere to park.
Yeah.
Oh, that Chevy's gonna be on full before I park it. I'll tell you that. We might be watching the start of the 600 from the car. Larson will make it to Charlotte before we get to the hotel 10 minutes down the road. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, thank y'all for being here. D-Watt, thanks for being in here. JP, as always, thanks for your contributions. You two idiots that drive Fords, hope it don't break down. I'm the only one to put a transmission in mine. It ain't a Ford. So. See y'all on the flip side. Hammer down. Thank y'all for listening to the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast. Our theme music is Hard as Steel by Alex Productions. Thank you all for listening. Hammering down. Find a good race to watch. We'll see you next time. Oh yeah, crack you another one, big dog. Oof. How much you think a Coke is at the end?